just happened that I wasn't aware of.
You just hired him.
Can I think it over?
Sure. If the three of us want to play the Chrysler, and you think the Chrysler's a rancid piece of sentimental schlock,
To quote your predecessor.
then we don't play the Chrysler. It's that simple. The only time your opinion's moot is when we decide to fire him.
If we decide to fire him.
And that's not going to happen.
She said any quartet calling itself Lazaro should be playing Lazaros. And I had to agree.
They're ours.
She's lending them to us.
She's giving them to us.
I'd like you to try something.
Okay.
The others say, not now, not yet, but I say, what's the harm?
I thought we agreed.
She wanted to try.
Who cares what name's on the label? She should play what she's comfortable playing.
I'd like to try it.
You don't think I know what's going on here?
You need to chill
We
out.
had an agreement. No romantic entanglements in the quartet.
You should talk.
Exactly. Now we know it doesn't work. My name is Matthew Smith, and I'm playing Elliot Barr. This is my 4th show with the Dayton Theater Guild. My first show on stage here on the new space. Elliot in Opus is kind of the queen bee. The others kind of look to him to kind of lead to the group. He's under a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, a lot of self-stress, and he really, really wants to be good at the violin. He plays the first violin, not any better than anyone else, but he probably thinks he does. He's got a great music background and really relies heavily on his background. He's got great relationships and a lot of history with all these characters in the play.
I started to imagine a sound. A vibrant, muscular sound. Not a blend, not a four-way compromise, but something that was greater than the sum of its parts. It's a beautiful sound, I can hear it.
Hi, I'm Michael Boyd, and I play Dorian. I am the crazy member of the quartet who is somewhat excommunicated because he has a bit of a moment and kidnaps one of the violins. Because he believes he really should be playing first violin even though he's stuck on viola. By crazy, I may well have been typecast, I'm not sure. But I'm hearing voices. I'm hearing voices as we speak right out. I think they're in the hallway, but they might be in my head.
And I said, I want the big violin. I didn't even know what it was called. There was something about that dark chocolate sound. It was a little butch or something. I'm Mary McKitka, and I play the character of Grace. Grace is a fairly normal, very bright 20-something musical savant. She discovered viola when she was in grade school, and her dad's always disapproved because he thinks she should do something more worthwhile, like being a lawyer. So now she has to join this quartet to sort of prove to herself and to her family that playing music for a living is really worthwhile. I'm a senior theater major at the University of Dayton.
Who the hell is Marcia?
Girl. The assistant to the director.
Oh, the one you've been flirting with all night.
I wasn't flirting. How's everybody doing? My name is Franklin Johnson, and I play Alan in Opus. Alan is somewhat of the playboy of the quartet. This has got to be my 4th or 5th production with the Guild now. I just finished doing Dividing the Estate under the direction of Ralph Denler back in May. And also The Boys Next Door, season before last, which is just one of the greatest productions I've ever been a part of.
People think when you're a quartet, everything's got to be rosy and cozy all the time. No. With 4 opinions in the room, 4 passionate individuals, sometimes tempers flare. Maybe not necessarily. The man was a perfectionist. I'm K.L.Storer, and I play Carl. Carl is the cellist, and I believe that Michael Hollinger assigned Carl the cello because of who he wanted Carl to be in terms of the dynamics of the relationship with the rest of the quartet. I think he did that with all of the characters, as a matter of fact. Carl is kind of the rock of the ensemble, musically, of course, because he's the bass, he's the bottom, he's the cello. But also, I think, in terms of the dynamics, as I said, of the relationships. He's a father. He's the only one of the ensemble that, at least we know, is a parent. He's married. He's a cancer survivor. He's really kind of the father figure for the ensemble. He's the father figure for the other men, especially. He's the one that's always breaking up the fights, the arguments. He's the one that's saying, let's move on. He's the one that maybe on occasion gets a little impatient and says, all right, enough. In terms of who I am, I'm, of course, a local actor. The last time I was on stage was in Carolina Change at the Human Rights Theater Company, which is my first professional musical, my first professional gig on a professional theater stage, as a matter of fact. The last show I did here was Blackbird, Easter weekend of 2011. And I've done at least one other show in this space and several shows in the old space. In fact, the first show I did as an adult was The Cripple of Inishman in 2004 in the Salem Avenue space.
The show is about a string quartet, a bunch of 40-something guys who have been playing together for years and years and years. And they kick out one of their members because he's getting too crazy, and they hire the 20-something savant to take his place. And the show basically revolves around their trials and tribulations as they deal with adding her to the group 5 days before they play at the White House, and remembering all the drama of their years with Dorian and him coming back.
It is really a very funny play. It's got a lot of funny stuff in it, but it's also a very poignant play.
What I like about this play is that it's a really interesting look, a very interesting study of the type of egos and the type of temperaments that it takes to put together this world-class string ensemble dealing with big egos.
I think the audience should definitely come see Opus because it's a very interesting play. It kind of gets you thinking about what happens backstage with not only a quartet, but with any group that's working together. There's always relationships behind everything that we're seeing as an audience, and this is a very unique way of showing the backstage workings of this group.
It's a love triangle with 5 sides.
It's got a lot to do with loyalties and friendships. And I really think that everybody's going to enjoy this one. This is the first production of the season. And we're going to do everything we can to make this as wonderful a show for all of you as we possibly can.
I think that it's going to be a great experience to see this show. I think it's a great way to start off our 2012-2013 season.
But it is a very good show, and everybody should come see it.
It's very interesting, it's a lot of fun, and come out and see us.
You'll enjoy it.